Greetings. I will continue my series on the art of war. I'm going to give my explanation of chapter 1 verse 17 and chapter 6 verse 33. Okay, chapter 1 verse 17 of the art of war says, according as circumstances are favorable, one should modify one's plans. Okay, chapter 6 verse 33, he who can modify his tactics in relation to his opponent and thereby succeed in winning may be called a heaven-born captain. Okay, so we understand that both of these verses are speaking on being able to modify one's plans. Okay, as it pertains to engaging in conflict with your opponent. So, that is the literal, contextual, explanation of the verse, of both the verses. So I'm going to look at it in the light of introspection. When it speaks on modifying one's plans or modifying one's tactics, it's speaking on being able to engage the negative habits that keep you from being productive, that keep you from attaining victory, that keep you from excelling in all aspects of life. We mistake the habits that we, allow, in our lives that are negative to make us believe that we are those actions, that we are those habits. A lot of us don't even understand what the self is because we think the self is the ego. That's why people say they're always trying to work on themselves and always trying to change themselves. If you really know the self from Advaita Vedanta, the self does not change. The self is changeless. It's beyond these things. It's beyond happiness. It's beyond sadness. It's beyond the conditionings of this lower vibratory system of things. So we need to know the difference between the ego when it's unripe and ripe, and know the difference between what the self is. You got people thinking they can create the self. You can't create the self. Life ain't about creating the self. Only thing that you're creating is more habits for the ego. And once the ego becomes annihilated, then the self will be revealed, even though the self is already revealed. You understand? So we got to understand what it means when we say who we are and what we doing. People mistaking things that they have for who they are, or determine their value. If they have nice clothes, nice shoes, a nice car, they allow these material possessions to determine something that's supposed to be intrinsic. So when you don't know yourself and you're mistaking the ego for yourself, then your understanding is going to be pretty poor. That's why we have people that say, man, I don't gossip, but they gossip all the time. We have people say, I mind my own business, but every time somebody start talking, they neck up and they looking, wondering what's going on. Retain self-possession. And you can't retain self-possession by not knowing who you are. Modify your tactics, work with those habits that you think to be yourself, and strengthen those weaknesses, which are really your perception. And modify your tactics and obtain victory in life. Let life be the opponent. Let the negative aspects of what you think to be yourself be your opponent. We looking for the outward opponent in these days and times because we want to impress people so bad. We want people to know how intelligent we are. We want the people to know how aggressive we are. We want people to know how real we are. It ain't too many real people out here because they are stuck trying to convince someone of who they are, and they don't know who they are and don't even know their self. They're just trapped in this box and this conditioning of things. So I'm giving you concepts to address what you think to be yourself from a general perspective. Sun Tzu. Namaste.